Okay, so I wanted to give you kind of a before picture. Ouch! Put my head. What we're looking at, and this is after, just a couple weeks of just keep adding more pine shavings to it. So this really needs to get cleaned out. I don't think that they're very happy in here, so I'm going to clean all of this out today. And this is a little hallway into the bigger part of the coop. Excuse me, ladies. I'm so sorry. Let's get that open for you. So all this hay needs to be taken out too. So I'm going to be doing that with the pitchfork and doing the other part, the inside of this box, with a shovel I'm going to use. I'm going to loosen it up and get it out of there as best I can with the long-handed shovel. But this is a pretty cramped area, so I'll probably only keep, I'll use the long-handled tools in here where I have a little bit more room. Off camera, I took the time to fill up their water over here that we have heat tape around just to keep it flowing in the freezing weather, but it's full up now. I filled that out of our water barrel that we catch rain in because it was overflowing. So we needed to get some of that water out of there, and that is the quickest remedy to that. And it's a sunny day, so it's not raining now, but there's still a lot of snow on the roof that's melting and running into those water barrels. So they're going to eat their breakfast while I start on the inside of their sleeping quarters. So the first thing I do is I want to clean out their nesting boxes, and this is where they lay their eggs. We have a little hinged roof on here so that we can just get in here and get the eggs whenever we want them. Typically I can just pick it up, throw it out into the rest of it, because I'm going to be cleaning all of that out anyway. And this is typically dry and dusty, but they don't typically poop up in here. There are times when they decide that they just want to roost up in here. If I don't catch them and move them to the roost in time, then they will just sleep up here when they poop in their sleep. So I have to clean that out. And then we do have one of our chickens is an egg breaker. So we have to get those broken eggs out just as quick as possible so that they don't start eating that and enjoying the flavor of it, and start breaking them just so that they can eat them for food whenever they need some animal protein. So so we get those out, and I hope to break that habit real soon. But now I'm going to go inside and from that side and just scrape up all this crap, literally. So I have finished my first wheelbarrow full of crap out of the chicken coop. So I'm not going to put it into my compost because chicken manure takes a long time to compost. And with all of these wood shavings, it's a lot of brown to go in my compost because you have to balance your compost brown and green, so that's also a problem. So what we do is we have a spot way up there at the top of the garden. Not that that's so far away. But we dump it behind those weeds. We have a spot that we dump it, and then we let it rain and let the nitrogen and the good stuff just trickle down from that spot down into the garden. We didn't plant anything at the top of the garden last year, so that is going to be a pretty prime real estate right up there. I got some good plans for up there. So I'm going to take my first load up there, and we're going to finish. Okay, so I went ahead and did this area in here off camera. I'm sure you can imagine that's a lot of work. Used the pitchfork, got all this wet, muddy, crappy straw out of here that they like to play with. So we're going to let this dry out a little bit and air out. So, and before we give them some more hay, probably tomorrow I will do that. And this water bucket setup is one that my husband and I worked on together. There is a heat tape wrapped around the bottom of it, and on top of the heat tape we have some of the duct tape that you use on ducting a house for like forced air or air conditioning. And they have the little metallic threads in them, which carries heat. It's a heat conducting little silver tape in there. So that is over top of the heat tape to help warm the entire bucket. And then the first attempt at it, they pecked at the heat tape. And you could see those little things sticking up all over the place, so that wasn't good. So we covered it over with some black tape. It's just a masking, not a masking, but an art tape. We got it at the art store. We use it for the kids' art projects. And we just put that over top, and it's a matte finish, so it's not shiny, so it doesn't attract their attention, so they have not been pecking at that at all. And we have the little watering bowls on there. There's that one in the back. I'll try to zoom in because I don't want to come all the way in here. But there's the one there on the back that is constantly leaking. Okay, that's why we have as much water as we do here. So we have discussed a remedy for that. I just want to plug the stupid thing up, but my husband doesn't like that idea, and so we're in disagreement, and it's sort of on hold, even though it's urgent and important, until we can agree on some remedy for that. But we have a strong lead. I think we're going to try and put a nipple in there, but we haven't just gotten around to that yet. It's Monday. So we'll get to that maybe today. So I'm going to finish up inside the sleeping quarters. I don't know if you can see. Reason why I like to leave part of it for the end is because I like to throw all of this hay, or the straw rather, through that box. I want to get to the wheelbarrow. There that is. So I'm going to finish cleaning up here, get the little brush and brush it all out, and then take up my last trip, hopefully, to the big compost pile up there, the chicken waste compost pile. Oh, and I wanted to mention that when I was talking before about balancing your browns and your greens in your compost pile, it should be 2/3 brown to 1 part green. But still, those wood chips and the straw is just it's too much brown and not enough green for my compost pile. It wouldn't be balanced, and it wouldn't be a good compost. So I'm gonna get going on the rest of this chicken coop, and show you when we have it. Okay, so what I have left to do, besides letting this air dry a bit, before putting in some bedding for the night, I will put bedding in the nesting boxes also, of course, because that's the best way to get eggs. So that'll be first, and then I put some pine shavings, is what they like up in here, and it's easier to clean. And then they like to have hay down in there to kick around and dig up and eat seeds. We've had this box a really long time. It used to be a playhouse for the kids up on the hill, but all they really did with it was fill it with dirt. So we brought it down here, and this was Penny's home right after the rest of the flock got devastated. It was out in the yard, and it got really hot, so she didn't lay until we made this her home. We just pushed it. This used to be the old coop. This whole little lean-to against our garage used to be the whole chicken coop, and they had a whole run out here that went all the way up this fence. Turns out that fence is not as good of a predator deterrent as we had first assumed. But it was a really good setup for a good number of years. They had a good running spot, and if it weren't for the feral cats next door or coyotes or whatever it was that got into our really big chicken coop, I don't know if we'll know. But we had reclaimed windows, and now I have created myself a little shed over at that end for my gardening tools. This chicken coop is safe from predators because they roost in the box, and then their food and water is out here in this main area, and they stay in there for the most part until I come and let them out. And there are times where I have to leave them in, but normally they get out in free range all over until we get the garden fenced in. But that's another project. Anyway, thanks for cleaning out my chicken coop with me. Thank you for cleaning out my chicken coop with me, and I hope you subscribe to my channel and you can watch my other projects.